There's three levels to a Jezebel and Ahab spirit. I say Jezebel and Ahab because you cannot mention Jezebel without Ahab. They work together. The first level is the highest level is political. The political power that operates under a Jezebel and Ahab spirit. The second level is the religious power, the churches that operate under that spirit. Then the lower level is the moral level or the cultural level, which we find in the music or in the way we form our culture, period. So I want to deal with the lower level because that seems to be the spot where we as believers seem to stick with because we don't really know how to deal with the higher levels. Matter of fact, we don't even know how to identify Jezebel and Ahab as spiritual entities or spiritual forces. We only know how to deal with vessels that they occupy, like certain people in the entertainment world. I'm not gonna mention their names because I don't want to pour more power into that. So when dealing with the Jezebel and Ahab spirit, we have to identify those spirits that are controlling people. We must war against that spirit. And the way that you identify it is a Jezebel spirit always looks for a Ahab spirit to prop her up. I say her because in the Bible, Jezebel is a female. But I don't want to make the mistake that we tend to make. We only see the Jezebel spirit in the gender of a woman. And we only see the Ahab spirit in the gender of a male. But in actuality, both of those spirits are interchangeable, meaning that a man could be a Jezebel and the female could be an Ahab. That's where we get confused that the Ahab and Jezebel spirit are shifty. It could be a man or it could be a woman. It doesn't matter. That's where we get stuck at. But we have to identify the spirit. The Jezebel spirit looks for an Ahab to prop her up because it knows that Ahab has a void within itself. Ahabs always have a void. You look in the Bible, at King Ahab, he has a void in his spirit. And Jezebel exploited that. She saw that and recognized that, and he ended up marrying her. And through that marriage, she got control over the kingdom of Israel. So let's look let's look at what that means today. The Jezebel spirit looks for Ahab to prop her or him up. Let's look at the entertainment world. There's certain entertainers out there that are obviously controlled by the Jezebel spirit. They look towards their fans, which are Ahabs. It is their fans that prop her up, or prop them up, or prop him up. Because the fans have a void on the inside of them. And what the Jezebel spirit does is make the Ahabs believe that she cares about them or that he cares about them. You hear a lot of artists tell their fans that they love them. They don't even know who their fans are. How can they love them? One of the tactics of Jezebel is using sexual wows, using sexuality to gain control or to gain commitment from Ahab. We see it all over the social media. We see mainly women, but men also flaunting their bodies for what? For views, to get views, and the views gets them money. What they do is sell a false narrative or a false feeling to make the viewers think that they care about them or that they are there specifically to give them a sexual gratification. And really, what they want is just the views and the money. And if necessary, the power. A Jezebel spirit always knows how to tap into the void area of a Ahab. We look at social media, you can't even get on without seeing a woman flaunting her body in an ungodly way. There's like a movement of prostitution going on in this nation with women, men, and children. It's rampant. It is rampant. It's on social media, it's on the TV, and God is now beginning to deal with this. He was patient for a minute, but now he's beginning to deal with this. And he's dealing with it by tribulating this nation. If you know the story of Jezebel, God gave her time to repent. When he began his judgment, he started with Ahab. He allowed Ahab to be killed. Take note of that. If you are operating under an Ahab spirit and you're propping up a Jezebel, you're going to be the first one to get judged, while the Jezebel continues to live on, according to the Bible. Then after he dealt with dealt with Ahab, he dealt with their son. He allowed their son to die, meaning whatever a Jezebel and Ahab are working to create will be destroyed. It will be destroyed. Then last, he deals with Jezebel herself. Now, go to the Bible and read what happens to her. Her very eunuchs, the ones who lived with her and served her, were the ones who threw her off the balcony. They threw her down to her death. Now, those who are flaunting or using sexual wiles in a witchcraft type of way, you can look forward to a destructive end if you don't repent. And it's going to be by the very ones who support you and prop you up, the very ones that you have brought into your circle to prop you up because you recognize a weakness in them that you can use for yourself. But if you don't repent, God is going to allow those very people to lead you to your own destruction. Now that's something to think about. Is it worth it? I don't want to be so focused on women, but I recognize that there is this need for attention from men to the point that they will degrade themselves. What is it? Is it because there's no father figures, that the men have been reduced to just breeders and not men, not fathers? That could be it. Or could it be that it makes them feel good to get that attention. But there's no peace. There's no joy. Some of these women are doing this because it's the easy thing to do. But these women will never know how gifted they are, because the first thing they do is show off their bodies. They won't know how intellectually gifted they are, because the first thing they do is show off their bodies. They would never discover how God has blessed them in other ways, because the first thing they do is show off their bodies. That may hold people's attention for a minute, but God will put in the minds and the hearts of your very supporters a tiredness, an irritation. And he will cause those people to turn against you in the worst type of way. Don't go out like that. Repent. Repent and turn to God today, so that you may live a joyful, fulfilled life. A joyful, fulfilled life. What is it? Why do we continue to run from a God who just wants to bless us? Who wants to pour out his love and his glory upon us? What is it that this world have that is so precious? It's not lasting. It takes more than it gives. It leaves you destitute at the end. Look at some of the artists who operated under that spirit. Look at them and watch their progression. They go from being on top, and they go through this process of being degraded, and they're nothing in the end. They may still be famous, but they look absolutely defeated. I don't have to name no names. Look. And the ones who are on top today, they won't be tomorrow. And